buy it. That was my whole presentation. And I smoked. So he said, no, we're not buying anything, magazines, lots, whatever. And I said, well, here, take my name and phone number. So I pulled out my matches and put down my name and phone number and gave it to him. And folks, now came the biggest challenge of my entire married life. I had to go home. So I walked in the door and put my arms around my bride and said, we're in real estate, babe! And she said, oh, good, let's go see your first deal. And I said, I can handle this. She said, no, you can't. No, I want to go see your first deal. At least your first deal. Nah, I can't. No. Well, she won. And we're heading down to Kensington. She knew we weren't heading to, Society Hill someplace. So we pulled up in front of my lot. And she says, now she's like right here in the ground. But the spring's coming up. She says, well, what'd you buy? I don't see anything here. I said, no, I bought this lot. She said, you bought an empty lot in Kensington? We need to talk, Bill. So we drove around and we talked. Folks, men folks know what they was talking, right? So she said, what are you going to do? I said, well, I'm going to take names and phone numbers of a whole bunch of other people and see if I can sell this thing. So the next couple of days I was on the phone, getting hung up on, cursed at, what are you crazy? I wouldn't buy an empty lot in Kensington. I get a telephone call from the father of the kid here. And he said, I knew about that tax sale and I forgot completely about it. I wanted that lot. Do you want to sell that to me? I said, you bet. And I'll be right down. I figured I blew my negotiating stance at that point. Went down there at 300 miles an hour. Went up and introduced myself. The guy's name is Joe. And I said, I remember something about negotiating. Why didn't name the price first loses? You've heard that before. So I said, Joe, how much will you give me for the lot? And he says, well, I don't know. How much would you take? And I said, well, what do you think it's worth? He said, well, what do you think it's worth? And I quickly figured out he went to the same classes of negotiation that I did. So at that point, he said, I wasn't going to pay more than a couple $1,000 for it. So I took a deep breath. I said, oh, I'm sorry to hear about that because I'm going to be real straight with you, Joe. I paid $4,000 for that lot. I got a deposit on it, and I'm going to sell it, and I whipped this list out to somebody on this list for $6,000. I'm not greedy. And he looked at the list, and at the top of the list was Zimmerman Heating and Cooling. I don't know what those two were going on between them, but he turned as red as a beet, and I could have swore smoke was coming out of his ears, and he started having some adjectives in front of Mr. Zimmerman's name, and and he said $6,000. I said, yep. And as I started to walk out, I was like, okay, I knew I had that. And he says, okay, do you need a deposit? Yep, $500 cash. If you got it. So I don't know if I have that much. I got a couple hundred to check for $3. And I said, okay. And so he gave me that. And I said, I looked at my watch and I said, well, the courthouse is closed. I guess we can't settle it today. So why don't we settle it Monday? I'll meet you down in front of St. Pete's at 13th and Market at 9 o'clock. And we'll go over to the sheriff's office and I will sign you over that particular lot. We'll complete the transaction then. So I went and got down to St. Pete's at 8:45, went into the church and prayed real hard. And he showed up at 9 o'clock. We walked over to the sheriff's office, and I made myself a neat little $2,000. I said, Becker, if you can foul up this bad your first deal and make $2,000 in a little over 10 days, you're in the right business. And that was my first deal. Been telling that for a long, long time. And there it is. Right there. Okay, it's still there. It hasn't changed. By the way, that house that I had been in that I thought I bought is all boarded up.